out there who don't know me, get ready, because you're about to know me. I'm Kurt.
So Spree stars Joe Keery as Kurt Kunkle, a social media influencer struggling to find an audience. Tired of trying everything, he decides to go on a live killing spree in hopes of growing the audience he thinks he deserves. Now, this film came out in 2020, and when I saw the poster, I couldn't believe that this was Joe Keery, mostly because the guy in the poster really didn't look like him. And so I went into this movie completely blind, didn't know anything about it. This is the movie that made me fall in love with Joe Keery, because really he hasn't done anything outside of Stranger Things all that recently. He did Free Guy that was supposed to come out in 2020, but due to the pandemic, it got pushed. But this is the movie that made me realize that he is not just Steve from Stranger Things. He is able to do other things. He is able to go to different places. And I was really surprised by how violent and really disturbing this movie is. Now, this movie isn't going to be for everybody. There are a lot of things in this movie that is going to go over a lot of people's head, especially if you're not part of the social media influencer type of deal. But when it comes down to this character, he is a struggling influencer. He is trying everything that he possibly can in order for him to grow the audience that he so desperately wants. He sees the kid that he babysat have a huge audience, and that is what sends him off into this jealousy rage where he is trying everything possible. However, he thinks he's doing the very best that he possibly can in order for him to grow that audience. And Joe Keery absolutely nailed this role. I absolutely fell in love with this guy after this movie, because he took this character in such a dark and malicious way that was so disturbing to see on screen, but it was also very off-putting to realize there are some people that will go to extreme lengths in order for them to get the audience that they want. They might not go to this extent, but I think that is where this movie absolutely worked, and it really puts you in the seat of the car with him, because you're going through it the entire time. And when it comes down to the found footage genre, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think what Paranormal Activity did was make those scenes effective and make you feel very claustrophobic, made you feel unsafe. And I think that is what Spree does very well. It makes you feel unsafe. It makes you feel like anything can go down at any single moment, and this guy can break at any single pace. And that is where this movie absolutely shines in its structure. And even when it comes down to moments in the live stream where you see people interacting with each other, that is where it makes you feel like you're actually watching a live stream, and it makes you feel like you're watching everything go down. You see people thinking that it's real, you see other people thinking that it's fake, and when you have something like that that is able to put you in the center of the action, it does its job well. You also have David Arquette, who up until Scream 5, I hadn't seen a lot of him. The last time that I saw him was in Scream 4, and he is absolutely great. He plays Kurt's dad, a struggling DJ. He doesn't have a big role in this movie, but I think he was pretty decent for the role that he was given and the material that he was given. I thought he played off very well off of Joe Keery. And even when it comes down to small little characters like this comedian that he picks up, I think everybody played their roles great. However, this movie is not perfect. There are a lot of issues when it comes down to this movie, and I think some of the issues that I have with this movie is how far you're willing to suspend your disbelief, because there are a lot of things in this movie that would not happen in real life, and it takes you out of it just a little bit, because it does feel like at any given point the cops would have shown up and done something before anything got too malicious or anything too vile. I think that's where your suspension of disbelief comes into play. Plus, also when it comes down to Kurt, he does get a little bit obnoxious at times, asking people for followers. But I think the way that Joe Keery played him and just the layers that he brought to this character, I thought it was done very well. That it didn't really bother me how obnoxious he got, but I still enjoyed him whenever he was on screen. I would love to see him play more roles like this, because I feel like he is able to have a life outside of Stranger Things. I don't think people are giving him that kind of chance just yet. But overall, I'm going to go ahead and give Spree a 6.5 out of 10. This movie is not perfect. There are a lot of issues when it comes down to how much you're willing to suspend your disbelief. But when it comes down to Joe Keery and this character, I think it's played very well. I thought Joe Keery brought layers to this character, and it does bring out the dark side of being an influencer and trying to gain that audience. But those are my thoughts on Spree. Have you guys checked this film out? Do you even know what this movie is? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on more. Click that bell notification so you get notified every single time that a video pops up. And I'll catch you guys on the next review.